Welcome, everyone, to Navigating Life with Good Company. I am one of your hosts, Mario, a.k.a. Ryofu, and in front of me is Stefan, a.k.a. Tricky.
How's it going, brother?
Not too bad, not too bad.
You good?
I would say so.
Awesome. I was just thinking about this. We got to, maybe we change it up, that intro, so we don't have to feel so pressured. I just, record it. We do a recording and just plug it into the roadcaster and just hit that button. And
Wait,
wait,
are you saying that you want the behind the scenes content? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, give me that behind the scenes. Something like this,
That's you want the sound of where's my phone at? And the sound of rattling or moving stuff and
Yep. There you go. So what's been going on? It's been a while.
Yeah, we crammed in those 2 episodes and I think both of them turned out really well. But I know we were damn tired afterwards.
Yeah. For sure.
It was a good experiment, but at the same time, it's I don't know if I would want to do that again. Doing 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah, in a while. We'll save
Unless
that.
we're in a situation where we're hey, we're not going to be able to record for the next couple of weeks or something. So let's do it this way.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to, I'd rather not.
Exactly. Same here. But yeah, I was exhausted. I think they turned out great, but
Yeah.
my wife was like, "Don't do that again. Do not do that."
You know what? Okay.
In a joking way,
Well, at first I was going to
because
say,
I run the house. So.
I'm staying out of that one.
Just kidding.
But
Anyway.
but you know what? You should have said. Don't do that again. You mean don't be B?
Yeah,
I can't do that.
Exactly. You married it. But while you were away, what happened? What's going on? Heard you took a little vacation.
Yeah, a
Went down
brief
south to
vacation.
the dirty South.
Right. I went to Irving, Texas, like I told you guys earlier, with A-kon 2023, and
You went with A-kon the rapper? Oh, you went to A-kon. My bad.
And I actually got a utility man with that, not purposely though. I was telling about A-kon, and a funny little story about that too is that, so obviously since I've been going to anime conventions for so long, probably the first several years I was excited, full of energy, full of life, telling people, hey, you might like this, come check this out, blah, 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 blah. And then of course, obviously, I mean, this because you worked in hotels. They are expensive, especially when you go to the fancier places. They're expensive. So a lot of people would be excited when I first initially tell them, but then they're like, oh, so we're splitting this? Yeah, we're splitting this. And they're like, oh, okay, got it. But then I also have to figure out the food, right? Yes, you're an adult. You have to figure out, manage how much money to set aside for food. And then whatever you have left over, yes, you can buy stuff. And then once it gets closer, I'm like, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
So after so many times of that, I just go onto autopilot when I bump into someone new and they're like, hey, tell me about this convention. And then after a certain point, I'm just like, oh, it's this, they have that, blah, 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 blah. And with my friend, Utility Man, I just went into autopilot, not expecting him to come. And then he was one of the ones that did end up coming. And,
Heck yeah. Good for him.
and sometimes, like I said, a lot of times you get used to telling so many people about it.
Yeah.
You don't know how it's going to turn out. But anyways, getting a little sidetracked there. When I first told him about it, I just said, yeah, it's going to be like a-kon.com. And apparently he just missed the dash part. So then he goes, and then I imagine him sitting at his computer desk, and he's like, he calls me. He's like, I see this guy that's a singer, and I don't think this is what you were talking to me about. And then I'm like, yes, there's a singer, A-kon, but there's also a convention called A-kon.
Yeah.
And I said, there's probably supposed to be a dash in between the A and the K. But I mean, when he told me that, I immediately had that in my brain. I could see him at his computer desk just sitting there just like, this isn't right. And as soon as he called me, he was like, hey, yes.
Don't let me in. Sorry. Go ahead.
As soon as he called me, and I could tell like he was kind of like, so A-kon? No, don't. Not the singer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways,
Crazy.
But yeah, it was a good time. I'm definitely gonna make a video about it. Somehow I got to figure out how to make 2 other videos before that one, but I do want to make a video about it. And there's parts of it where I had to rewire my brain. Like, I'm the type of person where I try not to get caught up in just like, if I feel really super negative about something, sometimes I don't like vocalizing those type of opinions. And I had to kind of rewire my thinking in terms of how to make that video. And of course, me saying it this way now, it makes it sound like, so you didn't have a good time?
I was about to say, that's what I was going with. That's where I was going.
And I did have a good time, but again, this is totally first world problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
But there were definitely things, and I'm not going to go into those details now, but I'll just say that it always feels like probably the past 5 or 6 years that when A-kon does this thing, they change something up, and they're like, oh, all right, they're going to do this now, cool. And then this other thing, they take 2 steps back, and then you're like, oh, okay. So we have this one problem fixed, but now we have this other thing that never was a problem. Now it's a problem.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay.
They slacked off on one thing to make something else better.
Yeah, I mean,
sorta.
that's one way of perceiving it. Yeah. Yeah,
Gotcha.
you could say that. And but it's kind of one of those things like, kind of like I mentioned in the second episode that especially me, I've been going for so long, it's almost like that relationship that I can't get away from, that I'm just so used to being there.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave.
Did you feel like the old guy?
No, not at this one. The smaller ones you do.
Yeah, gotcha.
And but no, so nothing like that, because this is pretty big convention, so the ages are all over the place. Oh, and you know what? Can you turn me up just a tiny bit? Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like I said, overall, I would say last year I went to A-kon Stefan style.
Oh.
Yes. So I went in, I forgot to look at who was going to be there. I was like
straight off the cuff.
Yes. So I was all over the place trying to figure out, okay, do I want to go to this? Do I want to go to that? And then I don't even have a name for him, but we were just talking about him. Got you riled up. Well, we won't say the name, but
yeah.
We were talking about that person, and that person actually had hey, I like going to this improv thing. Let's check that out. So we went to that, had a good time. But this year I was much more prepared. But again, you're used to certain things being a certain way, and then you're like, oh, this one thing that I thought was an issue, cool, they fixed that. And then this other thing that you're used to it being a certain way, now they're like, well, let's try this instead. And you're just like, damn, every time I think there's an improvement, there's something that's being taken away or something that's being altered. But, like I said last time, I think I'm at a point now where I just want to try other places, see what they're about. I'll definitely, go back to A-kon again. But I think like now it's a good time because, like I said, I've already had years upon years of me thinking, well, you always go to this one, so just go to it. Now it's a good time to, like some people say, rip off the Band-Aid.
Let it die.
And just try something else, and then who knows? Maybe I'll come back because I've already been thinking like, oh, the year I don't go, they're gonna have all these guests, and I'll be so pissed off. Be so angry, and I've already been thinking that. And
that FOMO.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But overall, I think, like I said, overall, I enjoy myself. Any situation I go into, I think you even said this to me when we were much younger. You said you can have a good time any place you're at.
For sure. Yeah, it's all about the mindset, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want negative, you'll see negative.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You want to have fun, you're going to see fun.
Right.
Right? It's all what you make of it for the most part.
Yeah, so that's that. And see, that attitude.
I don't know if
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Uh-oh.
I was about to open my mouth and say something crazy, but I'm not going to do that.
What, was it involving what we were talking off the camera?
Yeah. It's just one of those times. I guess, you say that, but you got to kind of take a step back. Anywhere I put any position or situation I put myself in that is meant to be fun, I'm going to have fun.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not always going to have fun in every situation, right? Because
Right.
But yeah. For sure. I just had like this thing run through my head. I was about to speak candidly for nobody was watching it. It was going to get stupid. But anyways.
But no, but I think that's a good mindset that you have thinking that, because and that's kind of what I want to get back to also, is that okay, if I am, like I said again, first world problems, if I'm in this situation and there's things I'm not quite happy with or whatever, I'm just kind of like, but I'm spending all this money, but then it's also, but you've been going for so long. Okay, it's time to just try something out and just see where it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's no reason, if you're going back to what you just said, if you're somewhere fun, why are you not having fun?
Exactly. I mean,
don't overcomplicate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's,
and I think like your mindset's in the right spot, because sometimes, it's like, it's kind of like being married. I'm just going to use this as an example. It's like being married.
Yeah.
Right? You have to make your marriage what it is, right?
Yeah.
Because you see that person every day, right? And you can get in a mindset of where you don't like that person anymore. Golly, I got to look at you every day. Goodness gracious. I can't get something different. Nope. Well, I mean, you have to make it what it is.
Yeah.
Put your energy into it to make it what you want, right?
Yeah.
You got to find the right person that's going to definitely feed off of your energy and give you what you give, right?
Yeah.
But like outside of that, like outside of a marriage, like looking at situations like this, sometimes stepping away from it, because you can't step away from your marriage, but stepping away from, like A-kon for a year or two. I bet if you came back to it, you'd be like, yeah, man, I miss this. This is, I remember this.
Exactly.
You find that love again,
Yeah, and that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Because I remember you talking about A-kon a lot, when I first,
many years ago.
Yeah,
many
a
years
lot.
ago.
And like that was your baby.
Yeah.
And it got me hyped. I wanted to go. Never been, but I want to go.
Right.
But so I think you'll get back to it for sure.
I think so too. And it's not one of those things where it's like, I have to never go back again, But I think it's time. It's time to just try different stuff out.
Yeah.
See what's out there.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
There's still I know. I know where you're going with that, but
No,
I mean, there's one that I haven't been back to in a while in Tulsa. It's smaller, but all the people there were really nice.
What is it called?
I always have to pause because I always say this name incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
So it's called Tokyo in Tulsa. I always say Tulsa in Tokyo.
Oh, well, I mean, it is our state. We will go first.
I don't even know what Tulsa and Tokyo would look like. Quality.
That would be interesting.
And totally not dissing Tulsa, by the way.
No diss on Tulsa.
Yeah.
We love Tulsa.
Yeah.
One of our good. For me, it was. It was all new to me. Remember that one time we went to Tulsa? And
yeah.
That was fun.
Oh yeah, I took you to it was
To an alley.
I sure did.
You took me to an alley, bro.
I like that place though. I like that scene. Oh, and I went back to that place like what was it, a year or two later?
Yeah.
They had a industrial band, V&V Nation there, and it was a pretty good show. But you know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like I liked a lot of the music they had there, but sometimes it's just kind of like, is it worth me driving that far for that? But
what was that place called in Tulsa that we went to?
I don't remember anymore.
Dang it. All I know is we were in an alley, bro. That's what I thought I knew you.
It's until you knew where the rivet heads crawl.
And then I was like, yeah. Dang, this is another side of Mario I did not know about.
We out here.
Oh, we had fun though. That was good. It was definitely
I know. And then
I think,
and then one of my friends there that I can't remember what happened. You made a comment. You didn't say like, this isn't my scene, but you didn't say that, but you said something in the way where you were just like, screw it, I'm here, I'm gonna have a good time, and then you just ran on stage, not on stage, but the dance floor,
yeah,
and you just started dancing. And my friend that was there, my two friends I introduced you to that were there, they were cracking up when you did that. They were dying.
I'm telling you, bro,
because you were just like, it was kind of like
going to make the most of it. My situation.
You did like like the cartoons, and I do mean cartoons that we grew up on, and they say, well, if you can't beat them.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what it looked like you did. You just ran on the dance floor and then you just started. Nice.
I'm glad you remember that because I don't.
well, I remember another thing, and let's see if you remember this. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it was a high school girl that was driving a van. I'm looking at your face. You don't look like you remember this, so I'll just use this as the example. So my hand is the van.
Yeah.
And we're in a parking lot, and she's driving the van, and then she went, and then you just lost it. You were just laughing, and then this girl, as she scraped the side of her vehicle with the pillar that was there, she got out of her car, and then she ran around and looked at it, and you were just laughing and laughing and laughing.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, bro.
I felt so bad for her. I mean, it wasn't like this. It wasn't like a fancy ride or anything, but
no, it was a spray painted van.
But you were laughing. Do you remember that?
I slightly do remember it. Yeah, I think there might have been some drinking involved. So,
there was definitely some of that. And the other part of that trip, I mean, of course, I'm not going to go into detail about this, but that Skirvin place, do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That place was nice. That place was dope.
Yeah, for sure.
That place was dope. But
I love that. I love that hotel. That's like one of my favorites going to the city, for sure. And, I think I dazzled my wife with that a couple of times.
Smart move.
She loved it, There's another one though that just popped up, the Renaissance. That's in Breaktown.
Oh yeah.
That is on fire, bro.
It is.
You been there?
Yes.
Bro, I got lucky and got to go there for a company trip, so it was not my dime that paid for it.
Trust me, I'm just
there for a week on
Oh, living the good life. Living the good life.
Yeah, bro.
Man.
Yeah, it was nice. But I like that hotel, but you cannot beat. There's a couple other ones that one of my manager's wives was telling me about in that area right around where the Skirvin is.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember the name of it, but when I find out, I'll shoot them to you, let you know. Because they're kind of like one of those boutique-y hotels. Because the Skirvin is a Hilton, right? But it's still kind of boutique-y.
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's definitely different than the mainstream. But and there's a few more of them that are in that area. So, but yeah, good stuff. Love that hotel.
Yeah.
Love
yeah.
Bricktown.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of drinking,
yes, go
we're
ahead.
not doing it tonight.
Yes, we're not doing it tonight.
We're on the water game. Flush those kidneys out, bro.
Flush those kidneys.
But yeah. You were gonna say something?
No, well, all I was gonna say was you're on this, but I mean, I think it's genius. You know, I totally think it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And speaking of, I'm on a cleanse. I've been doing it for about 2 weeks now. Yeah, next week will be going into the third. So I've done a full 2 weeks. But it's like no dairy, no soy, no wheat, no GMO, no gluten, no sugar, no alcohol, no coffee. And there's a couple of other things that I forgot, but they're in there.
Yeah, I applaud you for that because I know that's not easy. I mean, I know it probably feels easier the longer you're in.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I don't know where it came from because I wouldn't have done it. I mean, normally I wouldn't have done it because I've been propositioned, to do cleanses, whether it's by my wife or other friends,
Yeah.
And it's always one of those things in the forefront of your mind. You're like, sure, why not? It sounds like fun. Sure, I'll fast. I do fast, right? I will fast for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
But cleansing, I'm thinking of like a juice you take that makes you like go shit in like a few hours and you're done, right? That's what I think of a cleanse.
Right.
I mean, that's what I'm used to, like, And so to do something like this, that's a full 30 days is what I have to do. You have to be in the right mindset. I would have not done this normally, but for some reason, when my buddy was like, you should try this, I did it. And I look at him and I'm like, bro, you were bigger than what you are now. He looks good. I'm like, okay, why not? Because I definitely need to lose a little weight. So I just need to eat healthier. Like, I was a health nut when I was younger. So to get away from that, it's a little depressing when you think about it. So I try not to.
No. I hear you on that. Like I said, I don't know how people will feel about this because I know I get crazy looks because I've said this to multiple people. But sometimes, if I look at especially, I'd say early 20s, sometimes I feel like just a male Janet Jackson. Like, I just gain weight, lose it. Gain weight, lose it.
Yeah.
And I wish I could say it's only, like 10 pounds here, 15 pounds there, but it's a lot. So that's why I say, that's why I say the male Janet Jackson.
Yeah. And I've never put it that way. I've never thought about it like that. I kind of feel that way too. Well, I mean, this is the biggest I've been, and it's just like, you know what? I tried this, and this, and obviously there is something that I'm eating that is no longer agreeing with my age. Because when you're younger, you can get away with bullshit. You can get away with some bullshit, right? Like, you can get away with some stuff. But as you get older, like, it starts creeping up on you. And somebody said this. I told you while we were eating dinner. I think I told you this. You can't out exercise your diet. Like, you can't outdo your diet. Like, your diet has to be the foundation of everything else you do that's healthy for you.
That's essentially what happened to me. Like, when I first got started, like, if you're not exercising at all, exercising is going to help. But then eventually you're going to get to a roadblock where you're like, I'm exercising a lot, but, you know, I'm still just eating whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you realize you take the next step and you're a little more cautious and just paying attention to what you're eating, then you're like, oh, now I'm back to losing weight again. At least that's how it was happening for me, because I know a lot of people, they're usually like one or the other. You know, either they're really into dieting or they're really into exercising. But I think, you know, the key is you gotta have both of them in place.
Yeah, for sure. And I fought it so much. Honestly, over this last year, I fought not eating what I knew I wasn't supposed to be eating. It did not even, like, I didn't really care, but I did a lot of traveling, and my schedule was not set in place for me to, like, be consistent all the time. And I'm really bad with, you know, consistency. So it was just one of those things. I just wasn't in the right headspace, wasn't in the right spot. But kudos to my wife, bro, because she, like, would just look me up and down like, well, you go ahead and do what you want, but I'm not doing that. And for her, I guess, honestly, what was the tipping scale was, one, my head was in a different spot.
Okay.
It was just a light bulb switch that came on and said, yeah, you probably need to do this. And you know me, it's all or nothing. So when I go in on something, bro, I'm going hard on it.
Right. That's very true.
I got on to Casey because she put some lemon pepper on some of the chicken. Bro, we didn't know this. Neither did I or her knew this. There's sugar in it. We can't have sugar. Who would have thought sugar is in lemon pepper, right? That doesn't make sense. Dude, there's sugar in almost everything we eat. It's stupid. And then we wonder why we have obesity in this country and diabetes is running crazy and all this stuff, you know. People gaining weight, can't lose weight like they want to. It's what we're eating, what we're being fed, you know? So
yeah.
I mean, I told you the story. Like, I had to go to 2 different stores just to find a protein shake. I had to go to a vegan store that it's plant-based protein that did not have any sugar or any of the stuff that I couldn't have because there's whey and soy in most of
Yeah, when you
everything.
were first explaining it, I was wondering if you had gotten one of those. The only plant-based ones I've seen is like, you know, like if you watch YouTube, like some of the YouTubers that get sponsored, I don't even remember what it's called, but I've seen a couple of them.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know. I was like, is that something? I didn't know until you mentioned it. I didn't know that you could even get it in a store.
Yeah.
At least
lucky.
at least in a store near here. Let me put it that way.
Seriously. I was lucky because, I mean, I thought GNC was going to be the end all be all. And I walk in there and I was disappointed. And the guy was like, go here. He's like, hey, if people walk in my store and what they're looking for I don't have, most of the time I send them to this place and they have what they need. So I walked in there. I mean, it's a health food store, right? So they got a lot of supplements in there. And I could only find one that did not have any sugar whatsoever. Aura, lean and clean. So lean, so clean. They have 2 different flavors, vanilla and chocolate. And even the chocolate one does not have any sugar because I guess it's just like the cocoa seed that they use for the chocolate flavoring. So, I mean, but you know me, like I said, all in. So it's been
I hear you. Yeah.
Deep. I've been in her deep, bro. Relentlessly. And I'm like enjoying it. I actually enjoy it. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, it's so weird. Because a year ago, there's no way I would have sat down here right now and been like, I'm doing a cleanse. I was so far from it. So, like, to have, like, that 180 head change and to actually enjoy the food that I'm preparing for me and my wife, with no additives, none of that BS, just raw seasonings, salt, pepper, cayenne. I've been using a lot of cayenne, been throwing a lot of freaking turmeric on stuff. I put ginger in my shake. Casey got so mad at me.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ginger, ginger is I don't even know if I would say it's an acquired taste.
It's an acquired taste.
I would you know what I would say? What kind of taste it is? You got to use like
a little
small, a very small amount.
So you know how the root kind of like has like the little knobs that come off of it?
Yes.
Yeah, like the main root and the knobs.
It literally looks like a little baby tree or branch or something.
Yeah. So I'll like break off one of the knobs, throw it in the blender, and just blend it up like that, straight raw, and throw it in my shake.
That's how I used to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, go for it. I mean, it's delicious. If you can get, it has an acquired taste, like you said. To me, it's delicious. I guess because I haven't had sugar for so long, so even the little things that are sweet, I guess I'm tasting things a lot truer than I was 2 weeks ago.
It's totally different now.
Yeah, because I really feel like our senses are so dulled because like sugar and the flours, the gluten, and all this stuff that we're taking into our body is so hyper focused. I don't know. Maybe that's the right word. I don't know. You tell me. But I think it dulls like our true sense of being able to taste like what really is sweet, what isn't. Like I was telling you at the table, I was like, bro, fruits now, like carrots are sweet to me. Like I never knew that carrots were sweet until I stopped having sugar in my diet.
No, I get it. I mean, of course, this is a terrible example that I'm about to give.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I mean, for the longest time, when I was really young, and I'm talking about like 21, 22.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for beer. And then it wasn't until I was like, I don't know, maybe 24, 25, then I started liking beer. But then when I say started liking beer, I'm talking about like, the defaults.
Bud Light.
Yes, Bud Light, the Coors.
Natties.
Well, I never,
Mickeys.
I can't. Okay. I'm guilty of the Mickeys, right?
Yeah, bro.
I'm guilty of the Mickeys.
Yeah, we're bringing those on this show. We got to do that game.
Like it's almost like a tradition.
Yes,
like bringing back a tradition.
Exactly.
But I never. But I will say this. What's the other one? I never did natties though. I never drank the. I don't even know if I've tried one before.
Probably not. I didn't mess with them.
But what's another one that's in the kind of Keystone? Like
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know why, but the broke homies, they love them some Keystone
for sure, bro. Making those beer runs, get the cheap.
But it wasn't until like the past, like maybe, like I said, 4 years. I was telling you that I started getting into just drinking the stronger beers, and now if I drink Bud Light, now it literally tastes like water to me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's almost like going back to what you were saying. Like I said, this is a terrible example because I'm using alcohol as the example.
No, you're good.
But it's once you get used to something, then it's like your taste buds do alter and they change. And 1 minute, I didn't like beer, and then 1 minute, okay, now I like beer, and then years later, here I am. Now I can drink Bud Light, and I almost can't distinguish it from water.
Yeah, because it's that bad. It's that bad.
It's like
that's how foolish we were for so long.
It was the go-to for many, many years.
I mean, it was kind of like the staple in some of our parties that we.
It was. It really was.
You got Coors? Get that crap out of my cooler. I got Bud Light.
And then remember always. I just remember always for the ladies, Bud Light Lime. Do you have any Bud Light Lime?
Goodness gracious.
Yes, we have some Bud Light Lime.
We don't like Bud Light anymore, though.
Well, in my case, it's like like I said, I've just gotten used to. I like trying the foreign stuff. I like trying, the stronger things. Oh God! Look at this guy. He can't contain himself.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean it's no diss on my mom whatsoever. I love her to death, right? I kind of look at this as the same way with food, right? Like I had this conversation with my mom because she came over last weekend. She stopped by and I cooked for her because we're on this strict diet. And so I wasn't letting her bring anything in the house.
Before you go any further, now was she aware of the hey, I'm on this strict diet? Was she?
Oh yeah, she was. Aware.
Oh okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. She was fine with it.
Oh okay, cool.
But the thing is she was giving me crap for the food that I was cooking. But that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. It's what I brought up to her because she was giving me crap for me cooking. When I was cooking for her, love you. But I said, hold on. You always cooked meat all the way through. I never knew what a medium steak was until I was in college, bro. I didn't know what I didn't know what tender meat until I moved out of my mom's house. And so that's how I look at even when you talking about beer, it's when you taste good things, the stuff that you were used to is what the?
Because you think that's the way it's. I mean,
exactly.
You're not the wiser, so you just assume it's supposed to be this way.
Exactly. Yeah. So fun times, but yeah, I'm on a cleanse, and energy not so brain foggy anymore. We can't drink coffee, so
that's the part where I think that would be extremely helpful for me because I definitely have the brain fog moments.
Yeah, and I really feel it's the foods that we're eating.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So
the carbs for sure, like you said, the sugar, and like you said, I'm definitely one of those that I'm used to having my coffee.
Yeah,
I've tried to get away from adding, as much creamer and sugar, but I mean, just even. It would be nice because I remember a time when I didn't. It'd be nice to get away from caffeine in general.
Yeah. So there, in this cleanse, caffeine's not off the list, but coffee is. So you can have tea. So we've been drinking tea with no sugar, just, unsweetened tea, but not like the Lipton stuff. We're not touching that. We got some black something tea. Casey would know what it was.
Okay.
But
yeah.
So good stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I was honestly thinking about us talking, and I was like, man, that's gonna be weird not having a beer here. But I mean, it's not like we haven't not drank when we hung out, so I was like, well, we'll be fine. He can deal with it. I would have been fine if you would have had a beer.
No, that would have
been all right with me.
That would be weird to me. I'd rather do it with
that would have been weird.
Because I mean, think about that when you go to a party, because you know where I'm going with this. I've been in that situation where, hey, bro, come over. We're having a party, and then I get there, I'm just straight from there you go, straight from work, and everybody's like, hey, and you're just like, damn, not there yet.
So you can go shotgun a couple of beers and
trying to play catch up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Wish me luck. I got 2 more weeks to go.
No, absolutely.
We set it up to where I'm going to be able to eat whatever I want to on the 4th of July. Let's go.
Hey.
So I'm excited.
No, that's cool. No,
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's really good. Yeah, no, I do wish you the best on that because I know it's not easy, and I know you're kind of at the point where now you're kind of like you said, you are an all-in type of guy.
Yeah.
But
You
you're
know.
right. And you're at that point now where you're not so much about, oh, this is weird. Now, like you said, you're finding and discovering flavors that I guess you could say you didn't know existed.
Oh.
I guess that's the way you would put it.
Oh, yeah. I love carrots. Big time. Cauliflower and broccoli. Like my go-tos right now. Oh, and seaweed. You saw me eating some before. Straight out the package. Let's go.
My dad eats it like that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When I was at the casino, one of the sous chefs, I don't remember what the situation was. Maybe it was some dish that they had stopped making, so they just had like a crap ton of seaweed. Mm-hmm. So she just gave me and utility man like a shit ton of seaweed.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, there's no way I'm not going to eat all of this. So I was like, here, Dad, do you want some? And then sometimes I'd just come over and he would be on the couch eating it the way you were eating it. Just
nice.
Eating it like it's chips.
I'm telling you, man. It's the way to go. I can't think any other way, bro.
Right.
I can't think any other way. That's where we're at right now.
Right.
So, speaking of where we're at right now, we're in our 40s.
Yes, we are.
Jumping into the first topic of discussion.
Yeah. So, I don't even want to say I've been thinking about this, but it has been a thought in my head.
Yeah.
And that is, how long am I allowed to wear Jordans? Can I wear them after 40? And there's only one answer to this.
Okay.
The answer is yes. But I do have moments like, I don't even remember what movie it was. Probably more leaning on the chick flick side, but I just remember a movie where this chick was like, if I see one more 30-year-old man in a jersey, I'm going to scream. And then she bumps into a 30-year-old man in a jersey, and then she screams.
Yeah.
But I just, it's like, I know at a certain point, some stuff, you don't ever want to be the old guy dressing like he's 20. And did I ever tell you that one of the times I went to the casino, this is after I had left and everything, but so this is years later, I went back and this guy asked me for my ID, and I was just like, okay, it's kind of funny because
nice.
I'm like, at this point, I'm well over 21. We'll say that.
Yeah.
And then when I just said, oh, okay. And I was like, well, here. I was like, can you see it? Because I just kind of flipped my wallet open. And he was like, no, sir. I need you to take it out.
Oh, see, that guy. He's one of those people.
And then when I said, okay, I was like, all right.
What can you not see through this clear plastic cover?
So I was like, sure. And then I gave it to him. He's like, and then he looks.
He snatched it out of your hand, bro. Golly.
So then he looks at.
Oh, you're about to get me fired up. Bro.
So then I know, and I'm not even. And then so then he looks at. He's like, "Oh, I am so sorry." He said, "I really did. I thought you were just like 20." And I was in my head. I'm like, "Well, thanks, but okay. I know. Don't even kid me.
I'm not one of those guys, bro."
Right. I'm like, I know I don't look like I'm 20.
Yeah. Right.
In a perfect world, but I did have a moment where I'm like, well, not so much looks, not going off of that, but I'm like, I know, like, I don't typically dress my age or maybe the way dudes dress that are my age, so I can give a little leeway with that part of it.
Yeah. I mean, they say we don't crack, so
that's true too. That's true.
I don't think so. I knew your answer.
Yeah,
I kind of knew your answer.
Oh yeah.
But I don't even want to argue the opposite side of that. There really is no argument for the opposite side. But like,
just for fun. Go ahead.
What about the people that do say no? Like, no, after a certain age, you shouldn't wear Jordans. I mean, what Jordans? Because I'm thinking in my head, well, what Jordans are we talking about after 40? Because I mean, you can get really silly. And should you be wearing them? That's really the question. Should you be wearing Jordans after a certain age, right? I mean, honestly, Jordans nowadays are not meant to play basketball in. I mean, there's some that are.
Absolutely.
I
agree.
But the majority of the Jordans that are out there are really for fashionable wear.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Or just to collect.
Yes.
Right? And
Sit on.
Yeah, bro, those people piss me off. We have a friend, like someone I work with. He's one of those guys. Went to his house.
Is he one of those people that waits in line?
He might be. I never asked him, but he has a lot of shoes. Like, he has a whole room dedicated to shoes. And I'm like, damn. I love you, bro, but that's just a little too much. And my son, he's just like, just drooling at the mouth when we go in his house because he sees all these shoes. Nah, bro, you ain't getting there with me. But I get a job. Because I'm not buying shoes to just sit on the shelf. There's no way.
Well, and see, I'm with you on that.
We come from a different age. A different generation.
And I will say this, like, obviously I wouldn't have brought up the topic if I didn't like them. Mm-hmm. I do like them, but I am definitely a person that wears them. And also whether it's sacrilegious to say this or not, I'm not someone that I don't buy Jordans every single year.
Yeah.
So, because I'm saying that because I know there's people that do that. There's some people that do that, religiously. Yeah. Like you said, they're looking at stuff online and trying to add to the collection. It's not even about wearing them. It's about, I got to have that.
Yeah.
I just got to have that.
That looks sexy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Reasons.
Mm-hmm. Reasons. Exactly. I like it. I've never, I take that back. I used to wear Jordans before the age of 12. And after that, I think my foot did something weird, and I've never been able to wear Nikes. Nikes, period. Not just even Jordans, Nikes.
Well,
I have a wide foot.
Well, if I were to be completely honest with you, over the years there has been certain shoes that have just not been comfortable for me. So
yeah,
and that time period you're talking about, so that must have been like what, early 90s.
Yep.
Like there was a time period I had. It's weird because usually you only hear females talk about this, but it's like there's a time period where I remember where my shoes, they were crisp, but I was not comfortable.
He's wrapping those feet up.
I was like, is it normal for your feet to hurt?
It's not supposed to be. No, but Nike didn't make a wide shoe for the longest time. I know they probably do now. But I've been so far removed from the game, like I don't even want to go back. You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy what I enjoy now. I think if Nike would have made a wider shoe when I was younger and I could have worn them, I would be right up.
This is nice.
Oh yeah, I would have been up the same alley everybody else is in. I'm not a big fan of Jordans, to be completely honest. I think they're kind of overpriced. I think they're way overpriced.
No, they are way overpriced. So there's definitely a lot of shoes that are, but it's just like I was about to make an iPhone joke.
Ooh, go for it. Go for it. But I got some droids in my pocket I can throw out there.
But no, I do think it's just one of those things. Definitely there's people out there that it's just a status symbol.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Chasing the cloud, bro.
Yeah. But I mean, like for example, so not as example actually, but I mean, sometimes you will see something like I remember I saw these, I was with another friend, so I wasn't even interested in buying anything. And I saw these Nikes that were, and I mean, this is deadly for me, but shiny, and they were purple. And I was just like, now for me personally, purple is one of my favorite colors, but I'm one of those people where I like stuff to kind of match.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to exactly match, but I'm not one of those where it's like, hey, I'm rocking this with I'm not one of those. So it's got to, so then when I'm thinking of purple, I'm like, there's some stuff you can make it work with, but then I'm like, I don't want to like something that looks this nice and is this expensive.
Yeah.
$200. It's like there has to be. I can't just wear this once every 3 weeks. That's.
I mean, yeah, you could wear purple with everything though, Mario.
Everything?
Yeah, red, yellow, green.
I wouldn't wear it with red.
For sure.
I wouldn't. I can see the yellow though.
Lucky Charms did it.
I was gonna say.
I'm just messing with you, bro.
But yellow.
No, you're right.
Is the Lakers in you calling you?
Yellow is where it's at. Yep. Is what? Is the Lakers?
I said the Lakers in you calling you.
Yeah, there's no Lakers.
You're like, no Lakers over here.
No Lakers over here, bro.
But yeah, the yellow, I can see. I can
For
see
sure.
the yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yellow, white, or black. Honestly. Unless you did like other purples.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
I don't know.
Yellow's a good one, but
My
see,
wife called me the color wheel today. I'm kind of off the mark right now. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Actually, yellow works, and you know what? To be honest with you, I don't think I have a whole lot of yellow shirts, but see, yellow would work.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I don't know. You threw that question out there, and I was going to shoot it, but I mean, I understand that there's a lot of people out there that definitely gravitate towards Jordans for whatever reason that they do.
Yeah.
You know, and to each their own when it comes to shoes like that.
Yeah.
I will agree. I just wasn't ever into it, you know. Just I didn't get that. I wasn't fortunate enough to be in that group.
Well, a lot of the times what helped me out was really my grandma. I mean, she hooked us up with like ridiculously expensive stuff. And then I'm pretty sure my mom was like, he don't need that.
Yeah.
He don't need that.
Yeah. Now, I did buy them for my son, you know, my nephews. They asked me for Jordans. If I'm feeling generous, I'll get them.
They were probably over the moon.
Yeah, they were for sure. I mean, that'll put a smile on any kid's face.
Especially kids, you know, they like,
Yeah, for sure. Well, KDs were popping really hard a few years ago. I know longer than a few years ago. I don't know where they're at right now, but I know around that time, Dion was like 12, 13. Jordans were popping. I mean, KDs were popping. I got 'em like 2 pairs. It was like Christmas time. So, you know, I was balling out of control. But
I hear you.
I don't know. I love Jordan, right? We grew up with this guy, right?
Yeah.
Anybody wants to argue who's better, LeBron or Jordan, I'm always going to go Jordan because that's who I grew up with. Now, if you had a younger kid, 10 years younger than me, said LeBron, I mean, I can argue with you, but that's who they grew up with. You know, it's a different generational athlete, right?
Yeah.
So, but where's that money going? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's that money going for those sneakers that were...
Dude,
it makes you think about it for a little bit, bro.
Oh, dude,
it's
like, I mean,
sick.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's sick, bro.
That's why my engagement is a minimum.
Yeah.
I'm barely in the club. If not, I'm at the door. I'm just standing there like, okay, we'll let you in.
Yeah, gotcha. This time. Oh, it's you again. All right.
Yeah.
I gotcha. But, well, that's cool. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was an Adidas dude. I was an Adidas guy for the longest time. That's what I wore.
I was down with Adidas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I played soccer for a little bit, so I was kind of living that life and the poor life.
I would say Adidas is like the, you know, especially when we were growing up, it was much more affordable. But it was still like, there was still, I would say, a level of quality to it.
Oh no, Adidas goes hard. Adidas goes hard, bro. I'm not knocking Adidas whatsoever. That's just kind of where we were. I mean, again, I could not fit Nikes, so I had to go to something different, you know. And I was definitely not wearing Reebok. It's just no way. I wasn't wearing Reebok, you know. It is so sad. Like, even as a poor kid, you still have your you still have your level that you're not gonna go beneath.
Did you ever rock a Fitla?
No, I did not. I did. I take that back. When you say rock, I might have had one pair of Fila shoes, and that was probably it. And that was like elementary. I'm talking about like 3rd, 4th grade elementary.
Okay.
And then after that, no. So, yeah.
I just don't even know what those shoes look like anymore.
I don't either, but people still wear them. Like, they're still out there.
I thought that's what I thought, that they're still around, because every now and then I'll still see shirts and stuff like that, but I just don't hear people talk about them as much.
Yeah.
Now keep in mind, I'm saying this as someone that, like I said, I'm the dude that's barely at the door, you know, and I get in every now and then. So gotcha. I'm not following by any means, you know, like I'm not a, what do they call it?
Connoisseur.
Yeah, sneaker connoisseur. We'll say that. Yeah.
Or sneakerhead.
Yeah, or sneakerhead. Good show.
Definitely call them sneakerheads for sure.
Good show.
Yeah, that is a good show. That is a.
Then we might have to talk about that. That one is that one. I might have to rewatch some stuff of that because it's a little hazy for me. But
same here.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It was definitely funny.
For sure. So next on the list. Did you have anything else on the shoes?
No,
on the Jordans? You're good on that?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right. So next topic of discussion was podcasts I listened to and why.
Yeah, and on this one, I'm gonna let you go first, just because.
Forrest.
Yep, Forrest. Right. I'm gonna let you go first because. I don't think mine will get long, but I want to hear what you're going to say first. Because, I mean...
I only have... I have 3 that I listen to. I mean, there's probably a few more that I could pull up. But 2 for sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Smartless with... what's the dude that did Ozark? Jason Bateman.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah.
And 2 other guys. And I was like, I got to remember their names, but I didn't write it down, which I'm so sorry. But it's Jason Bateman and 2 other dudes. One of the guys played on Will and Grace television show. Blonde-haired dude, kind of skinny, wiry.
I kind of know who you're talking about. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Him and Jason Arnett. I know his last name's Arnett. Obviously, Joe Rogan. I mean, he was the guy that kind of got me into podcasts. I mean, I heard of podcasts, but I never really listened to them. You know, I didn't think I had time to block out an hour to listen to somebody else talk until I was at work. One of the guys I work with, big Joe Rogan head, like that's all he really listens to that I saw. And he had somebody on there that I knew, so I wanted to listen to what they had to say. And it was one of those things where putting my headphones on, hit play on the video, wasn't even watching the video, I was working and just listening to what they were talking about. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know it was like this. And that was pretty cool. So for sure him, 2 Bears, 1 Cave, Bert Kreischer, and Tom Segura. those are both comedians. They're kind of like,
Oh, I know who that guy's really. That guy's like. How would you describe it? He's one of those people like his energy is low, but he's really funny.
bro, his energy is like super low, but yeah,
I like he's like really. He's like really chill.
I mean,
I think he was.
when he was talking about the dog killing a dog for his child, one of his stand-ups. I mean, that was pretty awesome, and he wasn't like low energy. Like on that segment, he kind of like raised the bar, and it was like, oh.
I think he's the one that I saw. He was talking about how he went to the doctor, and then his doctor, he said was just brutal to him the whole time, and he was just like. Yeah. He was just like, oh, he said, you are the fattest person I've seen today. And then he was like, it's only 9:30. And then his doctor's like, still.
No. And what got me listening to Kreischer and Segur is because they're buddies with Joe Rogan. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and they're frequently on his podcast, and the banter between them is amazing.
Yeah.
You can tell that they're really good friends, very close. Right. And they give Bert so much shit for his weight. It's so funny because they just dog him bad. I mean, it's borderline harassment, bro. I'm like, golly, dude, why would you be friends with these? But it's just that banter, that comedic banter back and forth that only they would know, and you just have to understand it's funny, right? And laugh at it.
Kind of like a Bill Burr type thing.
Oh, yeah. Love Bill Burr. Oh, my gosh. I could talk about that guy for a while. But anyways, so that's what got me to listen to them. I haven't listened to very many of their podcasts, but it's on my list.
Oh, I could tell. Yeah, that's probably a good one.
Yeah. Bad Friends. That dude, Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee is freaking amazing, bro. I don't care. You can put him in front of you can put him next to anybody and it's gonna be funny. But Bobby Lee for sure. I like him. He's really funny. And Andrew Santino, yeah. Those two are on that one. So those are really mine. But I got to look up. I want you to tell me who yours are. But I'm going to look up Smartless because I didn't even know that Jason Bateman was doing a podcast. And I happened to just be scrolling through Apple and I saw it. Out, the algorithm probably caught me, because I was talking about Ozark because I was a fanboy when it comes. I'm definitely a fanboy when it comes to Ozark for sure.
No. That's a good show though. That's a good show. I get it.
Damn good show.
Yeah.
So I probably said his name quite a few times, and they're like, "Oh, Jason Bateman, we got one for you," But I can't remember the other two guys. I have to look them up while you're talking. Go ahead.
All right. So some of this I actually did have to almost said type out, but I guess you would say text out. But and actually you just reminded me of one of the podcasts I started at that I totally forgot about, so I'm gonna actually add one to the list. But anyways, the whole reason I even brought this up, because I felt like this is kind of going back to your Q&A thing. Like, what was the thing that made us say, this is cool?
Yeah.
What got us to that point? And I think, I think for me, I have been listening to them for a while, listening to different types of podcasts. But I think, but before I even get into that, I also just want to say that when you're doing, I think by design, it's meant to be this thing that if you're traveling or you're commuting, and in my case, maybe sometimes in your case, depending on if you have to go somewhere with your job. But in my case, my commute is very, very small.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more of like maybe when I'm traveling. So maybe when I'm traveling, that would be the time that I would listen to a podcast. Another time would be, which this is how even I recommend people to listen / watch the show. I say, while you're cleaning the house, while you're doing dishes. One of my friends said while he was mowing the lawn.
Oh yeah.
Like stuff like that. Cause especially where we live, we don't live in this massive city where we're commuting somewhere. We're not on the subway or anything.
Subway, yeah.
So like even when I told family members about starting this, they were like, I don't really get the whole thing with podcasts. And then I'm trying to explain to them that, well, by design, it was meant for this. But the thing is, you don't have to sit there and literally watch us. You can just listen to it. You can just listen about the stuff that we're talking about while you're doing other things, while you're cleaning. It's another thing that you can do if you're not someone that's into just listening to music constantly. Like if you
change of pace.
Yeah. And
I love music, but there's sometimes I just want to hear people talk. Break it up.
Yeah. And that's definitely what I've done too. Like sometimes if I'm in a groove and because there's parts of my job where I can't be listening to music or whatever. I have to talk to people. I have to look something up. It requires a little more concentration. But then there's other times I'm doing like little minor stuff and my brain can just listen to this and I can just do this, just listen to these people talk.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I just wanted to share that part because I think sometimes, there are a lot of people out there that even though podcasts have been around forever, there's still that demographic of people where, like I said, where we live, they may not even know, like, when am I supposed to be, like you said, when am I supposed to devote 2 hours to their show?
Exactly.
When do I don't have 2 hours to just throw away. And it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to, I'm not expecting you to just sit there and be like, the face.
Nice.
But anyways,
oh man.
But yeah, so one of the so kind of like you, I did start off with Joe Rogan. So I mean, he is one of the earlier ones I listened to. Yeah. Another one of the earlier ones, which for a couple of years, this was my favorite podcast out of everything, and that was the Joe Budden podcast.
Joe Budden,
the rapper Joe Budden.
Oh wow, I have never even heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, bro. You're gonna have to send that to me.
He was early. I think he came out like early 2000s. I want to say.
Okay.
And actually, solid rapper. I still respect him in terms of his in terms of his talent. I still have love and respect for him. But what I will say, and the reason why I worded it that used to be one of my favorite podcasts, is that Joe Budden is the type of man that he gets in his own way. He is definitely someone that self-sabotages himself. And in a lot of ways it's unfortunate, but like I said, I think this is an interesting story. So, I'll share this with
Rabbit Hole
with you. Yeah, with you and the viewers. Yeah. So and I'll try not to keep it too long. So he initially started this podcast, by himself, but probably like, I don't know if it was 10 episodes in. It was pretty early on. He incorporated these two guys, Rory and Mal. And then by the time I had started watching them, they had already been doing it for like probably a year or so. But you can just tell with these three, like there was just like a really good chemistry. Going back to what you were saying about Joe Rogan, you could tell, oh, these are really his friends. Like this isn't just for show. It's not just they're doing something for their job. It's they have the chemistry. They knew this person. They know what this person is like outside of work, as well as, when they're actually working. And then, but the long story short is that I guess when the show started popping off, they had a deal where, based off of the percentage, the money that they would make from the show, Rory and Mal would get a percentage of that. And then Joe Budden's argument is that y'all are employees. I'm the boss. You're the employees. So I'm not showing you how much money we're making because I'm the boss. And where do you work where the boss shows you, I made this much money and I'm giving you this much money? And his friends are saying, well, the way our contract is worked is the way it's written is that how much we make is based off of a percentage. How are we going to know that percentage if you just say, well, I'm your boss, and then, I'm not going to share that with you because reasons again. Reasons. And to me, it's not even just him saying that, but it's just even the way he handled it. Because just, since I've been, I was a listener for a long time, there's even things he said where, like when the show, like I said, when it was at its absolute peak, I mean, some people would probably argue that it's at its peak now, but I think that's bullshit. But when it was at its peak, there were moments where even Rory and Mal were saying, he was like, look at this line. He's like, I got these mofos wrapped around the building.
Is that the group? Or is that somebody different?
Oh, right here.
Oh, okay.
On the left, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So there was a point where he said, I got these mofos wrapped around the building. and then they were kind of like, you mean we? And I feel like he really believes like
it was all him.
It was all him. It was, his career as a rapper, which, I mean, and I'm not even saying this like as a diss towards him because, like I told you, I think he's actually a pretty decent rapper. But point being, I just mentioned him to you. You grew up during that same time period that I did, and you're like, who's that?
I mean, I'm bad with names though, so don't kill me.
Right? No, but that's what I'm saying. It's a test. It's kind of a testament that, I mean, there's some people he's just totally not on the radar, and it's like, nah, dude, give credit where credit's due. You did this thing. I know they weren't there on day one, but then maybe they were there on day 10, whatever it is. And we're talking about the course of, whatever it is, 300 episodes, and now you're trying to take credit like it was just all you all along. And that was, in my opinion, that was not the case.
Yeah.
And now he's got, when he had those issues with him, he quickly, like when there was just a little turmoil, he quickly found two other guys to replace.
No way, bro.
He just is just a little low down for me.
Guillotine.
Yeah. So,
Dang it.
So I mean, just in general, to me, the way he handled the situation, and I don't know if anybody at this point, that would listen to this show would be listening to the Joe Budden podcast. But I know some people might be like, I kind of glossed over things, but we don't have that type of time to be digging into the lore of Joe Budden. You know what I mean?
Right, the lore.
But the point being is that to me was really disappointing because, like I said, it was to me the absolute funnest, but the most fun I had in terms of any kind of, I was about to say hip hop podcast, but really any music podcast. Like they have really good chemistry. They talk about music, and then and I will admit that sometimes Joe Budden, he would kind of sneak diss on up and coming new kids and stuff. But it was still funny though. It was still funny.
Gotcha.
And like I said, but to me, the way the way he does business, and like I said, he had a show even before this one that was really taking off. And again, it's just he is a self-sabotager, and I think the people that are supporting him now, because his show is still doing really well, but I think the people that are supporting him now, they're just oblivious to the fact that there's only going to be a matter of time before something else happens. And then he's going to lose more people following him. He's going to, whatever project he's working on next, it's going to fall through, or something's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's always something's going to happen. And then it's always them and not him.
Yeah. That sucks, bro. So it necessarily wasn't his content that he was putting out. It was how he handled the business.
Yes, it was not
in the back end.
Yeah, it was not. Yes, it was the business side. Doesn't have nothing to do with the content that he was putting out. Yeah, no, it was because he's a funny guy. Like I said, he's a good rapper, and also, I mean, that was the point. Even what I think got a lot of people into him is that he had like this period where this is the first time we're really seeing people, or at least openly talk about, where he's like this rapper. He came out, he kind of had a middle to low tier type of career, but then he even explained, that, in one of his episodes that I think it was when he was ranting about Eminem, but anyways, he explained that, my career is what it is. I'm proud of some of the projects I came out with, but it's time for me to move on. And then just miraculously, he found a totally different lane that was way more successful than anything he did when he was making music.
Interesting. So let me ask you a question. This is interesting because
that's why I wanted to.
Do you think like maybe his rap career took a dive because of his personality and how he handles business?
That could have been part of it. That could have been part of it, and we never knew. He was he was a part of a group, like he kind of like his, I guess you could say, like a second coming for him. Yeah. He was a part of a group, Slaughterhouse. I wish I could name the rest of the people that were in that, but they're all respected MCs too. But I'm drawing a blank on that. But anyways, but point being though, this group, the person that signed this group was Eminem. So I mean, so it was like, just think of that. You had a solo career, right? And maybe it's not popping off the way you want, and now you're a part of this. You're a part of the super group. And now you have a second chance to, have a good career, a solid career, and then and some of the stuff he said, because he was kind of critical of. Again, I'm trying to keep this really short, so I don't. Because we are going into the lore. I said we're not going into the lore of Joe Budden. Meanwhile, 2 minutes later. But anyways, so he ended up. Just complaining the way Eminem was handling Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, because he wasn't the boss.
Well, you got a point there. And see, there are some things, because keep in mind, we're the viewer. I'm on the outside looking in.
Yep,
so all I know is what he's ranting about, because he's a ranter.
Yeah.
But an entertaining ranter.
Right.
So he's complaining about how Eminem was like, wanting certain beats for certain songs, or hey, I'm going to take you out of this song. We'll leave this person in, because there was like 4 of them. So sometimes how it is, like some songs are shorter than others. So it's like, hey, we're only going to have 3 of you guys on this one, or I like this beat. And then he's like, dude, why are you choosing the beat for our song? So there were little things like that. Some of it, I'm like,
it's his group. Because he's the boss. I mean, like, seriously, though. Sounds like an arrogant prick to me, to be honest with you.
That might have been part of the appeal. But no, you're not wrong in saying that. And I think part of it was just that he thought, here's this guy that understands how the business side works, but he also understands what it's like to be an MC, and surely this will be, I don't want to say it'd be easy, but just he understands both sides. So surely this will be something amazing. But I think there's also just the part of, I think Joe Budden is very reactionary. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to get animated. He's going to get over the top. And it's like, you might have even had somewhat of a decent argument saying, can I at least choose my beat? You might have an argument for that. Because, and I'll say even just this one reason. I'm not trying to crack jokes, but I'm just saying he might have an argument there because Eminem is a terrible beat picker. He absolutely is. So he has an argument there. You know what I mean?
Wow. We're going into the weeds here, fellas.
He is a terrible beat picker.
I didn't see that coming, Mark.
No, dude. Got to be honest.
That sounds like frontal lobe cortex not developed properly for Joe Budden, but whatever the case is. I mean, come on, man. You're in an industry where you have to collab with people. That's the first thing I thought. I was like, you have to collab with people. You have to understand how to deal with people. Even if you weren't in music, as a businessman, owner, whatever. When you get in those upper echelons, you have to understand and know how to navigate people.
Yeah, you do.
Right? And you can't just come off all brazen, shooting from the hip. It is my way or no way, because then you're going to end up like where he is, you know? Yeah. Something's going to happen. Just eventually. Just wait for it, I mean, good luck, bro. But I'll listen to him, see what he has to say. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, he's a funny guy. He is a funny guy. He's definitely entertaining. Like I said, I think in this instance, to me, it's more of a, I guess you could say it's a principled take, and it's just that would not sit right for me after listening to it for so many, for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden now these two guys are off and these new guys are on. And we're gonna just pretend like it's business as usual. It's really weird. It's
that's just some snake shit.
That's how.
That's some.
So
how would you feel if I did that to just out of nowhere, bro? Well, it's not working out. Bye, Mario.
Yeah, exactly.
That's some snake shit, bro.
So that's why.
Maybe I won't listen to his podcast.
So that's why I did, now, I've been listening to Rory and Mal, the two guys that were off, and just curious how their thing's going. And that was the one I mentioned to you. I don't remember if I said it on the show. I might have said it off the record where I said both of them did an interview of a rapper, Logic, that Joe Budden. There is a clip of him. There's even
dissed him, right?
Yeah, he said he was like, dude, just he said he was like, Logic, you trash. You're just the worst rapper I've ever heard in my life. And now keep in mind, this guy's young, so
Logic's still a rapper to this day, right?
Yes, he is. And
okay,
and when you see, I just picked it up, but you. But when you see the interview that Rory and Mal did with Logic, that's like, it is a really fascinating interview because, like I said, remember what I just said, Joe Budden was talking crazy and saying, he's the worst rapper you ever heard in his life. Mm-hmm. And then Rory's kind of like, man, don't be like that. He's all right. But Joe Budden's over there laughing, cracking up and like, what? But anyways, listening to that interview, and at that time Logic was in a different headspace, and he's trying to kind of feel like, was this a mistake? Because they used to work with this guy that thought I was a joke. And then it's probably not even, it probably takes like almost 15 minutes in that he realized, they're not, my problem is with this guy, not with these two guys. Mm-hmm. And it's a really cool thing because it's not something you see, happen in real time. And then you're like, oh, wow, okay, now he's loosened up. He's more relaxed. And even they're, they're loosening up too because they're like, I can sense a little bit of tension. I can sense that he's making these passive aggressive comments, and stuff, and it just goes in a complete. It's like just seeing a complete 180. It's a really interesting interview. I think that's something like I could just watch just to see, like, even when something goes bad, is there a way for it to completely turn around and do a 180?
Yeah.
And seeing that is like showing me, like, yes, you can. Even when you may think a situation is going south, is there a way that it can turn around? Yeah, there is a way for it to turn around.
It can always be brought back.
Yeah. And it's like I said, really interesting interview.
That's awesome.
But okay, so obviously these other
enough
ones.
off of that sucker. Enough of that sucker.
Oh man, but okay. So just a real quick.
What was the other guys though? You said
Rory and Mal.
Rory and Mal. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I am listening to Rory and Mal now, and like I said, they're doing a pretty good job. You can see. I think with them, I'm getting something close to what used to be. But like I said, of course, Joe Budden was that other part of it that made it. Just made it. What do the kids say? The chef kiss.
The chef's kiss. Yes.
Yep. So, but yeah, so some of the other ones, like I said, I'll just, I'm not going to stay on these too long, but, one of the gaming ones I listen to, Gamer Tag Radio, these guys have been doing, podcasts for a really long time, like probably the earliest, probably like early 2000s. And I like it when we have this this podcast that's devised of minorities, and they're just doing their thing. They started early, and I mean, they've always kind of been around, but I feel like right now they're kind of finally getting their glow. Yeah, nice. I mean, after so many years. And
who'd you say this was again?
Gamer Tag Radio. This is one that I've been listening to for a while now. Totally discovered them by accident. It was around the time when probably when I got into Joe Budden, Joe Rogan, and a few others, and I was just like, let me look for some gaming ones.
Yeah.
So Gamer Tag Radio was one of them. I would say probably the other gaming one I really listen to is called Triple Click. And this one is, and I know that like some people might find this questionable because I know some people out there don't like Kotaku, but it's made by ex-Kotaku members, but they do a really good show. And I would say this is more on the, I guess you would say, journalistic side of gaming news.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate their show. They do a really good job. And let's see. So one I totally forgot. Have you ever heard of the Brilliant Idiots? No? Charlemagne the God? I know you've heard of Charlemagne the God.
I do not like that guy.
Oh, wait. You got to tell me. You got to tell me.
I mean, his name is off-putting to me right off the bat. So
get out of here with that garbage. That's a hip hop thing, though.
Yeah, I understand, but I don't know. It's just not for me.
Kind of like what do you call it?
I've heard some of his stuff though. You know what I did see? There was a clip I saw him and freaking Birdman getting into it.
Oh yeah, and he held his own. He did his thing.
Yeah, he did. I was like,
oh, that's
about to shoot each other.
Oh, I got a better. Okay,
that he's like a troll. So I feel like he's a troll.
No, that's how he. I gotta look up this real quick. Gosh, dang it, I cannot remember. Damn. There's a comedian I am totally forgetting that I want. Like you mentioning the Birdman thing. Makes me wants me to tell you like the ultimate Charlemagne interview.
Who was it? Was it with another rapper?
No, it was with a comedian. And this Okay, got it. Okay, so on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. What's the Breakfast Club?
Oh, so you're not.
Not just for the people that are watching. That might not know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would just say it's a hip hop radio station that's been around since 2000, maybe early 2010s.
They're out of Chicago, right?
I thought they were in New York. I could be wrong.
Okay, no, you might be right. I'm not for sure. I knew it was up north, but I wasn't for sure. So,
but oh my God,
because he has how many people are on that show? Like 4, including him?
No, well, for years and years and years, it was 3.
Oh, okay.
Now that now I'm brain dead on her name.
The female left.
Yeah, and now it's just him and DJ Envy, but they're kind of playing around with having like guests.
Yeah.
Show up
come in as a third.
And I mean, the guests they're having are crazy. Like, so I mean, the guests, they're killing it. They're either killing it because they want that spot, or they're killing it just because now they're how would I put it? They're doing the show differently, the format differently, and they're doing an excellent job. But
is this on like
it's
national radio, or is this like on like XM, Sirius XM?
Actually, it's everywhere. They're on like a lot of places now. They're even on TV. That's how huge they are.
Really?
Yeah,
Breakfast Club.
Yeah. This is probably the biggest radio show right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they are everywhere now. Like I said, yeah, on television, XM, everywhere.
Yeah.
But I even posted a comment on this video, and I got a shit ton of likes because I'm like, this is the greatest. This is a Breakfast Club classic. But anyways, it is when they interviewed Monique, and this was around the time.
Oh, she's fire.
This was around the time when she was telling people you need to boycott Netflix. And oh my God, the interview is amazing. It's a masterpiece. Like every now and then I just go back and watch it.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
It is so like, and when I say it's good, I'm not saying like, like if you like Charlemagne, like, oh, he wins the argument, or you like Monique, she wins the argument. No, I mean, it is a hard back and forth. And I mean, Monique, she says some stuff that like, I'm like, well, she's not wrong about that. And then, and then Charlemagne's like, this is ridiculous. Maybe they're just offering you and what the audience wants, and the audience, they're not interested in you anymore, and
yeah.
I mean, it's like a chess match. And that, I mean, it goes so off the rails, and I don't mean rails like they're cussing at each other or anything like that, but it just gets so crazy. At one point, she's just like, there was a time I met you and you opened the door for me. And you know what you told me your name was? You said your name was Leonard. I'm going to just call you Leonard because that's your real name. You ain't Charlemagne. You're Leonard. And then she'll be like, Leonard. It's just like, dude, it's an amazing interview.
You guys talking to the mic, Mario.
Right.
You got to get a little closer. I can't hear you.
I know. I'm not used to making out with mics.
It's all right. I didn't want to say it, but I just want to make sure you can be heard. Go ahead. Leonard, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. You got to get him. Hit him below the belt.
Well, yeah.
Bring it back to his surname.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just wasn't a thing. I mean, I've seen some clips. That whole Birdman thing, I was like, oh, this dude might get shot in his own studio.
Yeah, that was very entertaining. But
yeah, very entertaining for sure. So, was that?
Let's see.
Just real quick, the Smartless podcast.
Yeah, go ahead. Hit me with it.
Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, Will Arnett.
Okay.
So
okay.
They're all funny in their own way, I don't know. It's like a trio that you don't expect, but they're doing their last show on Netflix. They actually have a Netflix show. I started it, I think, this week, but I didn't even get to like dive into it. But yeah, it's like their last show. So I don't think they're going to be doing anymore.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
But yeah, it's just 3 dudes, 3 friends, getting together, telling jokes, making each other laugh, talking. I mean, they're all funny. Have you seen Will Arnett's shows on Netflix?
I don't think so.
So he's done a couple of series where he gets like 2 real actors to basically do improv. But they don't know any of this. They're not given a script. They're basically like led blind the whole show.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out who committed a crime. So they have these 2 actors, or I don't know if it's 2, maybe it's just 1. But anyways, they have an actor, doesn't have a script. Everybody else has a script in the show except for the guest actor. And they've gotten some pretty good actors on there. And at the end, they have to like figure out like who murdered somebody or who stole this or whatever the case may be. But it's like, it's all improvisation, you know, from that guest actor's standpoint. And everybody else is just, you know, just feed them a bunch of stuff. It's super funny. And so listening to him in this podcast, I see where like the root of his humor is.
Okay, gotcha.
Especially when he gets lined up with those 2 people. I mean, because he's a really silly guy. I mean, in some of the movies and shows that he's been in, he's pretty silly, but it's funny listening to them.
Gotcha.
You know, it's like a good relief. Like, I don't need to listen to anything serious. I just want to listen to some funny people. You know,
that's
not talking about.
That's essentially how I felt when I was listening to Joe Budden.
Yeah,
like listening to something just like you don't have to take it seriously. It's not that deep. Just have a good time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's always the topics that we don't expect to go long that just we get it.
Oh,
we get into it.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Pretty good. I like it. But anyways, you had one.
So I would say I do want to, like I said, and I'll just run through the rest of these non-Nintendo podcasts, H3H3, and I do want to say that you know, special shout out to one of my boys from way back in the day, coming up with the podcast, the Black Powder podcast. It's a podcast. He's trying to, and I think this is actually genius on his part, where he wants to educate black gun ownership. He wants to just kind of communicate to black people on a level and help them in not only you know, like tips and stuff about firearms, but just you're going on the journey with him.
Yeah.
And he's already had like a couple of guests on, people that own businesses and stuff that's firearm related.
Yeah.
And I think he's just doing a really good job. And at one point he was talking about like video games. This is before he started this podcast. He was talking about video games and wrestling and anime. It was all over the place, and politics and just all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, I don't know how he came to this conclusion, probably because, during the time of the pandemic, I think he kind of got into firearms and stuff. And I think that's what kind of made him decide to go in this direction. But I think it's pure genius. And I think, especially just because, I think he uses, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I heard him say that there was like a huge uptick in black ownership, for firearms during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I just, like I said,
crazy folks out there.
I just really think that it's, and you're right, there is. I just think that, no matter where you stand in terms of firearms, but I think if you're the type where you want to own them, then, you should just educate yourself, surround yourself with people that have knowledge on the subject.
Yeah.
Get some training, go to the shooting range. Like I said, that's if this is something that interests you, just educate yourself on them.
For sure. What platform is he on?
I know that he's on the Google Play. I don't know about, I think it's called Google Podcasts, but I'm trying to think of what the other ones he's on. I'm not sure. He might be on the Apple one as well. But I know for sure he's on there. He's on the Google Podcasts.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. YouTube?
He has started some stuff on YouTube, but I know not all the episodes are on there.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
You said the name of the podcast is called Black Powder?
Black Powder.
Awesome.
Yeah, Black Powder Podcast.
Plug him out. Plug him out.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be on? You think he'll come on our show?
He would have to do he would be a remote thing.
Oh, a remote.
Yeah, he's in Georgia.
Oh. Yeah, we ain't got that kind of money. I'd be like, we'll fly him out here.
So you were thinking like, well, if he's not here, we can get him. Is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, we'll get him. No, we can do remote though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, like I said, good dude. I've known him for a while.
Yeah. Where do you know him from?
So I want to say it was back in the Live Journal days. So we're talking like early, probably it had to be after I was done with the anime forum thing. So it must have been like 2003, 2004.
Yep.
And he was one of the people where, he kind of similar to me. He liked a lot of metal music and stuff, but he also was like balls deep into the hip hop. So that's how me and him connected.
Okay.
Like I specifically remember, as a matter of fact, I asked you about your favorite Wu-Tang member.
Yeah.
I remember his was Gizza the Genius.
Gizza the Genius. That's a good one too.
Yeah. That's
a gangster name as well.
Yeah.
Still can't go wrong with Ghostface Killer.
Yeah.
That there's a pizza place in Oklahoma City called The Slice. No. Well, oh man, my wife's gonna kick my butt because I don't know this. I'm drawing a blank right now. It's a little hippie place, like hipstery pizzeria, and they do like these huge slices, or you can get a big pie, and like it's in the Paseo district. So if you're in the area, Paseo, I want to say it's called The Slice. It might be called something else. I have to look it up and we'll put in the description for sure. But they have a pizza called the Ghostface Killer.
Okay, that's pretty damn cool. That's cool.
And
I like it.
It's got like peppers, and I think I want to say it's really hot. I've had it before. It's delicious, but yeah. So I'm not alone. But anyways.
No, that's good stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Heck yeah. All right. So was that your the last guy for you on the whole podcast?
Yeah. And like I said, I just wanted to just kind of give an explanation of how we got to this point. What got us into the whole podcast thing, and what kind of just got us intrigued and say, okay, maybe I could do something like that.
Yeah, anybody can do it. And the beauty of it is like even the influences that I have, I still want to make my own, right? You kind of take some of that knowledge that you've listened to and you've seen, and you're like, and you just kind of make it your own. But I think the most important thing is either if you're going to do it yourself, like go for it and stick to a couple of things. Don't put your hand in all kinds of cookie jars. But if you're going to collab with somebody, do it with somebody that for a fact, like you're on the same page with, like a friend, like a really good friend.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you just gave perfect example of somebody that thinks like they're the boss and you're employees, and it don't work out that way.
And that's something, and by the way, just real quick with that part, that's not to say that you're not allowed to, like, he's not allowed to be the boss or something.
Oh, for sure.
But he needed to communicate. So guys, this is my shit.
Yeah.
And you guys are working for me. You cool with that? Okay, you're cool with that.
Right.
Or I'm going to pay you this amount and you don't have to like it. You can leave.
Yeah.
Or this other thing. But, you know, like I said, you can't change it way after the fact and be like, well, I want you to know that I'm the boss.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm thinking in my head, yeah, he has the right to be a prick if he wants to.
He can be that way. But like I said, you just got to make sure those parameters that everyone is on the same page.
Yeah.
Everyone's on the same page, and that's it.
Yeah.
But are we long overdue for a break? I'm afraid to look over there.
Yeah,
well, actually, I can't see, but
yeah,
good.
we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Okay, so the next topic, this is in relation to the Xbox 2023 showcase. And this happened just very, very recently. For us, it's, last Sunday. And I mentioned it to you in passing. I don't know if you had enough time to watch any of it or anything like that.
I did not, bro. I'm so sorry. I did not get to watch it.
But yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But I mean, it's still up there, if you ever have time to watch it. But it's, I will just say, like, out of all the game showcases that have happened recently, like there was a Capcom one, there was the Game Summerfest, but like out of everything that I've seen, bias aside, because there is some bias. Everybody has bias, but this was like the best showcase so far for this year. This has like been the best one.
So what is a Microsoft showcase?
I mean, it's just really just, them explaining like what games are coming out, what games you can expect. Some are further along than others. So, I mean, it's a mixed bag of things.
Any console reveals or just games?
They will have console reveals, if they have one. But of course, even though these technically came out 2020,
yeah,
there was the whole pandemic thing, and there was the chip shortage, so a lot of things got extended way longer than probably normally would have happened.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to have these systems, I would say, for quite a bit more before they reveal another console. I don't doubt that they'll do upgrades, in the future. There's probably going to be a, whatever you want to call it, because I can't say Xbox One X. So there'll be a Series X Pro or whatever they're going to call it.
Yeah.
Elite. Series X Elite or something. There's going to be something like that.
Gotcha.
But for this time, no console reveals or anything like that. But I mean, they had quite a bit of good games they showed. Let me not say good, because reality is that we don't know yet, but looked very promising. That's the way I would put it. But now, obviously, so what was different about this one is that they had like 20 or so games that they introduced and talked about, but then they also had, it was 30 to 40 minutes of, or I might be exaggerating, maybe it was only 20 minutes, but just exclusively for Starfield. And I mean, this has been the game that I've mentioned to quite a few people. Like, this is probably going to be, a big one. This is probably going to be one of those must-have titles for this generation. You know, probably up there with.
It looked good.
Yeah, up there with Tears of the Kingdom. You know, it's going to be. I think it's going to be pretty big, and it's interesting because. Remember you mentioned that you watched that video where I was talking about Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
And I mean, and not to go into too much detail with that, but I mean, you know, there was some drama due to how poorly Redfall was received, which ironically enough was also made by Bethesda. But there were other issues with that. But with Starfield, I kind of had a feeling. Dang.
Yeah, that's the real deal Holyfield right there, bro.
It sure is. And it just sounded way different with these headphones on, you know, because we're getting some stuff that's just, it's just isolated. And, you know, we're not hearing the full sound. And then it just sounded really weird.
Exactly.
But anyways, I think how Redfall came out and how, you know, how poorly it was received, this was kind of one of those moments, like in regards to Microsoft, in terms of exclusives, that's probably been the one area that maybe Microsoft gets some criticisms that they don't have enough exclusives for the platform. Now, I think I might have mentioned this to you before, but I can't remember. But, you know, like for me, there's just a lot of stuff that I play that it's third party, meaning, you know, it's on every platform. You know, a lot of stuff that I play, it's not, oh, it's this Nintendo game or oh, it's this Sony game. It's most of the time it's games that you can play everywhere. Like one of the games I'm looking forward to, and I own it, haven't gotten around to playing it, Dead Island 2. You know, I haven't played Dead Island 2 yet. Trying to think of something else, but point being, it's the third party stuff. Like even Starfield is probably one of the most anticipated things, but on a personal level, the most like I would say one of the things that made me the most excited about this was Persona 3 Reloaded, which Persona 3 is probably like. I did have this written down a while ago, but it's
Good question. I don't mean to cut you off, but you've talked about this game quite a bit on your channel, right?
Persona 3. Yeah. Well, I've made a couple of videos about the series. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And this is going to be just like a remake, but it looks really good. I'm really happy about it. There is a little controversy about it, but we're not going to get into that here. But there's controversy because it's like, you know, whenever they have games and they have multiple versions,
yeah,
some people are not happy about what version they're remaking, which is like the vanilla version of the game. So
Gotcha.
There's some content that's not going to be on it. But anyways, in my case, I'm just happy that it's actually happening because it's probably. I don't want to lie and over embellish this, but I mean it's for sure in my top 20 of games, like ever. You know, it's probably in my top 20.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's in my top 10. That might be pushing it, but it's definitely in my top 20. But also another thing I'd point out though is that and I'm looking at this list now that there were a lot of RPGs. So, I mean, if you like RPGs, you would really appreciate a lot of the games that they had. But so, you know, I'm happy that we at least saw footage of Fable. Because, I mean, Fable is a series that's kind of been dormant for a long time.
Yeah.
Fable is, oddly enough, Fable is something that I haven't really followed. And I've only played, I think, the second game. It's been so long, I don't remember much about it. But I don't remember like disliking it or anything like that. But I know amongst Microsoft, Xbox fans, you know, that's one of their series where they're like, man, you know, why don't you just go back to making another Fable? You know, that's what Xbox really needs. But they also showed the DLC content for Cyberpunk, and I think I mentioned that in passing to you on one of the episodes, Phantom Liberty, and I said that it was going to have Idris Elba in it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so that's going to be really cool, and then going back to the Weeby realm, the people that make Persona, the people that make Shin Megami. And I know you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, the people that make Persona, the people that make Shin Megami, they're making this game called Metaphor Refantasio. And when I see the art style, like to me, this is going to be a game for me. Yeah. This is a game for me. When I saw this, I was like, damn, I can't believe that that Microsoft is really trying hard to get more Japanese games on Xbox.
Of course.
So I think that's also a smart move on their part. Yeah. But yeah, this game looks so badass to me. And then at the same time, it kind of has for people that know what I'm talking about, it looks more closer to Shin Megami than it does Persona. So it's really in the, I guess you would say, really wacky, artistic, like spirits and demons type thing. It's really fantastical is how I would describe it. But that looked super cool, and also so Elder Scrolls is not gonna be out for God knows how long. But the company Obsidian, they showed like a couple years ago, they showed us a clip of this game called Avowed that they're working on. And this is the first time we're actually seeing gameplay of the game. And this looks like the closest thing, at least for me, that I can get that's, the closest to Elder Scrolls. So gotcha. I'm looking forward to that one. And there was like some kind of Persona 5 strategy game. I would still check that out. Now, let me see. What was the other one? Oh, so then there was a game they showed that was called Clockwork Revolution. This kind of looked like BioShock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it looked really cool. I think the only criticism people have for this game is that there wasn't footage, so it was more of it wasn't gameplay, so it looked like it was just more like a cutscene. Like they just showed a cutscene.
Gotcha.
But still, it looked pretty impressive, and I mean they had really a lot of games, and I mean there's some stuff I'm not mentioning because it's just a long list, and they had Hellblade 2, they showed that. I have a weird thing with Hellblade, so I played it. Have you heard of this at all?
Hellblade? No.
Okay, so kind of a fascinating game. It kind of deals with this female warrior that I don't think this is a spoiler, but she has like mental issues.
Okay.
So the whole time you're playing the game, she's hearing voices in her head, and the game is designed in a way where you wear headphones, which I'm not a headphone guy.
Gotcha.
Just for jokes, just for my amusement. What kind of guy do you think I am?
What?
If I'm not a headphone guy, then what kind of guy am I? I'm doing a step and I'm putting you on the spot.
Surround sound?
Bam! There you go. See, you got it. That's exactly what I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm big speakers all day, every day.
Yeah.
I'm all about the DTS-X, the DTS HD, the Dolby Atmos. That's the kind of lad I am.
Yeah.
I'm not into pseudo surround sound on headphones.
Yeah.
Not me.
I gotcha.
Not my vibe.
No, I hear you.
But that's what the kids like. And I'm like, the future is headphones? Oh.
Well, because there's a lot of banter back and forth when you're on online gameplay. But they're used to it.
Well, that's multiplayer though.
Yeah, I think they just gotten used to it. So when they go over to another game, they're just used to it. It's a comfort thing. It's like having a blanket.
It's like having a blanket.
It's like, you get a little blankie. A little I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
No. Actually, that's hilarious. But, but no. That's a personal weird quirk with me, and I'm way out of the norm when it comes to that.
Yeah,
I've always just been more impressed with surround sound and the technologies, like I said, what Dolby's doing, what DTS is doing, rather than having some virtual recreation of this will simulate surround sound, but it really isn't surround sound.
Right.
But
I don't mean to go off topic, but if you think about it, the way that sound is going outside of a home theater system, it really is to block out everything else. And you look at this generation, and that's what, when they get into something, that's what they do. They block everything out and focus on what they're doing.
No,
right? I think you're have headphones.
I think you have a really good point there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they need their blankies. I don't know. Maybe it comes from our generation growing up. We were the ones that invented the stereo systems in cars and that loud noise banging your
being
trunk.
Obnoxious.
Yeah. So to have that encompassing sound, it really did. Yeah, it started with before us, but as far as the technology taking leaps and bounds was really, during our generation.
Yeah.
So I feel like we kind of gravitate towards that.
And I will say this because I know that's just me being petty. I'm being a little silly about it, but really I totally get that. If you're living in an apartment and you work a shift like me, it is to your benefit to play with headphones. I mean, that's essentially what I have to do, or turn it down, turn the subwoofer off and have it at the lowest setting. I mean, that's what you would have to do if you're living in an apartment or you're living with multiple people in your house. I mean, so I get for a lot of people that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to, there's going to be some caveats. They can't just play everything extremely loud and obnoxious and experience the beautifulness of 9.1 surround sound, that kind of thing. I know, yeah. I get it. Yeah. No, but I'm just, like I said, I'm just joking. But it's like I said, a minor petty thing with me. But anyways, and like I said, totally, it's a lot more affordable for whatever a 19-year-old to buy headphones.
Oh yeah,
and they're good to go. But yeah, but anyways, yeah. And so in this game, she's hearing the voices in her head, and for better and for worse. But I'm kind of on the, I'm not in the majority here because this is a critically acclaimed game. But most people love that you're hearing the voices in her head, and it's nonstop the entire time you're playing the game. Because, it's trying to simulate what her experience is, what her reality is.
Gotcha.
So that part, like I said, it is fascinating, but
that's crazy.
But yeah, it will make you crazy. Because sometimes they're saying stuff like, "Don't trust this person. Don't trust this person. What's over there?"
And you're saying that is continuous.
It is continuous
while you're playing the game.
While you're playing the game, and then sometimes I'm like,
what if you kept hearing that after? I think that's a little too much, bro.
Well, see, that was kind of my reaction. I was playing through the game, and I was like, there's no denying that the idea behind it is genius. What's happening and what they're simulating, what they're trying to show you. But there's also just that part of me. I'm like, I wonder for the people that truly experience this, are they hearing full-fledged sentences? I wonder if it's a lot shorter than that. Wonder if it's more like just no or yes, don't go there. As opposed to, I wonder who's that? I wonder what he's thinking. Because some of the sentences to me, it's a bit much. And then going to what you were saying, it's nonstop. Yeah. So then I'm just like, are they overdoing it a little? And maybe they're not. Maybe they're not, because I don't know. I haven't experienced that. So
maybe they've asked, I mean, maybe they did the research and got, some info. But
And I don't doubt that, actually. I don't doubt that. And like I said, I'm in the minority. Most people, and by the way, I'm saying I'm in the minority. That doesn't mean I didn't like it, but it goes back to what you just said. You said that's a bit much. That's kind of how I felt when I was going through it. I was like, it's kind of annoying me more than me seeing it. And I mean, it's a game design choice, so it's not a flaw within the game. This is how it's supposed to be experienced. So,
that's a one-off I've never heard of.
Oh, really?
To get you in that mindset to be completely distracted all of the time. At some point, you have to just like not even think about it so you can focus on playing the game. Kind of like how she's living her life. Like, in order to do tasks, you just gotta block it out. That's interesting. Like, a little much. I don't know if I could do it, but yeah, like you said, genius.
Yeah, the concept is genius.
Like, wow. Yeah, I'd clap to that for sure.
So I definitely would just try it out, just try out the second one just to see, because I experienced the first one, and like I said, I wouldn't say I dislike the game, and I definitely would not say it's a bad game, but just how you worded it, that's kind of how I felt when I was playing it. I was like, it's a bit much for me, but like I said, that's how it was designed, so it's not a flaw in the game.
Yeah.
But
are these games that you are shooting off the hip, are they all going to be like Xbox exclusives, or are they going across platform?
Okay, so we'll say the ones that are exclusives, I mean, Fable is going to be exclusive. I believe Clockwork Revolution, that one's going to be exclusive. The Hellblade one I was just explaining to you about, that one is an exclusive. And then, of course, Starfield is also going to be exclusive. The Persona stuff, I'm pretty sure that's going to be multi-platform. But the fact that we're even getting those on Xbox is good, because for years Persona was not on Xbox. I mean, Persona was one of the reasons I even bought a PlayStation 4. So the fact that now they're getting it, it's getting closer and closer to that point where I'm like, man, now I'm having less and less reason to buy a PlayStation. It's getting there. It's not quite there though.
Ooh, music to my ears, bro. No more Sony ponies over here. Get out of here.
But yeah, it's getting there. But no, there's still some stuff that I know there's some Japanese developers that are just going to be loyal to Sony no matter what. But
yeah.
But like I said, I really kudos for them working hard to just get a more balanced list of games, diverse type of games,
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, like I even told you, and I've told countless other friends, I was like, Starfield is gonna be a really solid game. I mean, and especially since you like Fallout, I think you're probably gonna enjoy this. Like, I'm more
Starfield.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. I saw the gameplay.
Yeah.
On a commercial. I was like, no way. And you're telling me I'm going to be wasting some time on this?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get excited about a lot of games.
Right.
So for me to get excited about a game, I'm definitely probably buying it. One of those things.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, a really, really solid game for Bethesda.
Is my dog giving you weird looks?
The look of kind of sad,
kind
of somber.
Oh, he's fine. Apollo,
you're like,
bring him in.
Or you're like, that's just how he looks.
Yeah, he really just wants to jump on you.
It's funny. As soon as you said that, he looked at me. As soon as you said that.
He's just one of those dogs. Like, he's got to be worked all the time. So to be calm is really an awesome thing for him to do.
Right.
So that's why most of the time he's not in here. But I figure maybe he'll behave this time. I'll just let him lay down.
And
he's doing all right.
Yeah, now he's looking
laying
at you.
down. Yeah. I mean, he's a good dog for the most part. Just got to get him bred. I want to get him some puppies. Really bad. So, but anyways, moving on. I digress.
No, but like I said, there's a bunch of games that I'm not even mentioning here. But I mean, those are just the games that interested me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that I'm sure will intrigue other people. They had some like Sea of Thieves new content for that. I don't know anyone, but apparently that game has like a very loyal fan base, and people are just still playing that.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, and that's an Xbox exclusive too. It kind of has, ironically enough, we keep going back to this word, but it has like a cartoonish art style. But they even had a DLC for, I think last year they had like Jack Sparrow DLC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's kind of like a whole pirate type thing.
And that's not a anime, is it?
No.
Also?
No, it's not anime.
What's
it's
anime
more,
that's...
It's more westerny.
Okay.
It's more like, like art style you would see like in a Pixar movie. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What's that anime that's about pirates? Do you know what I'm talking about?
And it's so funny you mentioned that one.
What is it called?
Trying to make me upset the anime community.
I'm sorry.
It's One Piece you're talking about.
That's it. My son was so addicted to that thing. Bro.
Really?
Yeah, he was addicted to it.
Then I can't say anything.
Tell me. What was it?
I'll give you the very short answer without me going into too much detail. The aesthetic, I'm not a fan.
Oh, okay.
The art style, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't mean it has a bad story because I have no idea.
You haven't even seen it?
No, and I probably won't.
Gotcha. It's more Americanized, right? As far as the art style?
Well, no, it's just really unique. I'll give you an example. Okay. So like Utility Man.
Yep.
We always have these jokes back and forth with each other. So he showed me, like no explanation, just sent the link to my phone. And I click on it and it goes to YouTube, and then it's Luffy. I even know his name, Luffy.
One of the characters in the show.
Yeah, the main guy. He's like powering up or something, and then his feet just go, and then they just have like little afterburners on them, and he's flying.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just went like this and walked away. I was
done. Get this bull crap off my phone. Oh, okay.
But yeah, no,
that's good to know. That's good to know.
Wait, why do you say that's good to know?
I'm not gonna watch it then.
Wait. Before you even, because I didn't even say, I didn't say good or bad. I mean, you already have an idea.
Yeah.
But so I didn't say good, bad, one way or the other. That description that I just told you, what do you think of that? I when we're off, I might show it to you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at your reaction to that, and then you'd say, "This is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life," or maybe you will think something else. Or
I don't know.
But
I mean, it wasn't one of those things where I was just gonna like, let me see what you're watching and sit down and watch it. I saw it like in passing.
Oh, in passing, yeah.
And I was like, that's not for me. Really, honestly, before you even said anything. So the whole rockets and shoes. I guess I'll have to see it. You'll have to show me. I'm a little curious now.
And I just want to be clear, though, he's not a robot. So
I know.
That's
what I thought.
So that's the other part of it. Like, he's not a robot. So, and this is happening. And
yeah, I mean, I know it's fantasy. I get it, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You can't cross certain lines.
I have my limits. And I think everybody has like their whatever it is.
Yeah.
Everyone has their definition of cool. You know what I mean? Whatever your definition of cool. Like going back to what you were saying about like LeBron or Michael Jordan, there's some people that don't think either of those two guys are cool. Whoever those people may be, I don't know. But you get what I'm saying. Like, there's just some people that what someone might think is super cool, another person is like, no.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. I would agree with you. There was an anime that I downloaded to watch. Maybe you can tell me if I'm doing too much. Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. Have you heard of that one?
So yeah, and that is a shonen. I haven't watched it myself. I do have it saved in my queue though.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that one out. I'm throwing that one on the
okay
tally to see what's up.
Yeah. But yeah, that is a shonen. It's a pretty popular show.
Yeah,
but I have not seen that one myself. But I mean, if you ask me, and like I said, this will make some people mad. If you gave me a choice between that show and One Piece, it's a very easy decision for me.
Black Clover. Okay.
And like I said, there's by the way, One Piece is huge.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that will disagree.
And there's many seasons, isn't there?
Yeah. It's extremely long running.
Yeah. I think like season 1 was like 20, 30, 40 episodes, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
like,
it's really stupid. Yeah.
What are you doing, bro? But anyways, yeah. So we'll see.
Yep. But
anyways.
Yeah, I gotta find that clip.
You'll have to show it to me. I had to look that. I knew I was going to bring that up and talk to you about it. But all right, you got any more on the Microsoft?
No, I think that's everything. I mean, like I said, there's stuff I'm leaving out, but I think that covers, all the stuff that was interesting to me. And like I said, there's still like a lot of stuff that, I would probably check out, but I mean, this is the stuff that, like I said, that really got my attention. And I think especially like 2024, it's going to be a fire year. It's going to be a great year for me.
Yeah.
Great year for me.
As far as these games that are coming out.
Yep.
All the content you're going to be throwing on it.
Hopefully.
Because you do gameplay, right? On some of your videos? Like
as far as showing it?
some gameplay?
Yes.
Let me quick question. Because this is, honestly, since we're on this topic, like the gameplay that I've watched in some of your videos, is that you playing the game or did you snatch this from something else?
I never snatch. Everything is something I played. Yep.
Awesome.
So if it's on Nintendo, that's me playing the game. If it's on PlayStation, so all of them are games I've played.
Gotcha.
And you bring up a very good point because there are a lot of people that do, like you said, snatch stuff from other content creators. And honestly, for me, that's what can make it challenging because, you're trying to, like, if a game comes out, like a perfect example is we'll talk about, so not the Persona 3 remake, but the portable one, and that's probably the video you saw. When that game came out, when that remaster came out, I had to play it, and then I also had to, have footage, and then, of course, do whatever I'm going to do, write about and stuff. Then I'm picking, what clips and stuff I'm going to show. Mm-hmm. But sometimes that can be difficult because, some people... I mean, we're just saying what it is. Some people are going to cut corners and they may not even finish a game and they're going to be like, but I got to talk about it now because this is the hot thing. Mm-hmm. So they're going to, like I said, if they have to snatch footage, they're going to do that. If they got to not finish the game, that's the big thing. Not finish the game at all and just be like, I got to get this review out or I got to get this video out. So whatever I got to do.
Crazy.
But everything you see is footage from me. The only time it's not is if it's a game that isn't out yet. So
Gotcha.
if I'm talking about, like, for example, that Metaphor Refantasio game, like, I'm probably going to make a video, very short video about that. So I might have clips of that, but that'll be like the one time it's a game that's not even out yet. So that won't be my footage. but
Okay.
that's the only exception. Everything else, it's always me.
Beautiful. Love it. Mm-hmm. Love it, love it, love it. Well, that's 219 in the book. How are we going to close this one out? Apollo, you want to close this out? All right, whatever. Bro.
I like the look. The look was...
All right, man. It's been fun.
It has been fun as always.
Any last words?
Nah.
Love you, brother.